Hey everyone, just turning all the mics back on. How's your week been? It's Synth Geekery episode 272. Just let us know if you can hear me okay. Hopefully it's all coming through. I think I can see it coming through. Yep, I just did a test message and it should be coming through. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and how do you say it? Trovo. Is it Trovo?
What's Trovo?
What's Trovo?
Yeah,
I think that's
new.
So we are streaming on 3 platforms. If you guys want to watch us on Twitch because you don't like YouTube, head on over there. If you want to watch us on Trovo, if you like that platform better than Twitch, head on over there.
How is Trovo?
Yeah, exactly.
What I can understand is that it's a bit like you know how Twitter turned into X, because
right.
I still call it Twitter.
Yeah. But then there's an offshoot that's come out, and it's called Blue Sky, which is basically
I've got Blue Sky,
which is basically what Twitter used to be.
Yeah, it's
so
nicer. Blue Sky.
If people don't like what X has become, they go onto Blue Sky. My understanding is the same sort of thing has happened with Twitch with Trovo. Because Twitch is owned by Amazon now, and there's all this Amazon monetization thing going on in there. So that's what I understand. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but look, we have everyone here. There's going to be a delay with Chris coming in. He's got some family dinner on tonight, but he'll be here a bit later, so we can squeeze someone else in the meantime. Hi everybody, hi Chatties. You guys will see each other in the bottom right hand corner, the Chatties. We also have Zoom that you guys can play around with and be on part of the show. That's not Zoom, that's Zoom there. I probably should put the link in and pin it into YouTube, but I think you guys know the link by now. bit.ly/Ranzee Zoom. If you guys want to join in on Zoom, let us know. And just you can turn your camera off if you want to, turn your audio on, and be part of the show that way. Come and go as you please. And I'll put all these links up in a second, chat, so you guys can click on them. Don't forget too, we do have the tips system up through Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Ranzee. That is up. Good thing about tips through Streamlabs is they come through on the show as TTS, so you'll hear text-to-speech coming in, our illustrious Brian's voice coming in over the top. And the good thing about Streamlabs is they only take 3% commission, which with the monetization of YouTube, it's not a bad thing. YouTube's more convenient for you. You can do your super chats that way if you want to, but just bear in mind that YouTube does take 30% commission and Streamlabs only takes 3%. So more bang for your buck, I guess, if you're thinking of it that way. It costs you the same, right? It's now to do the Streamlabs one, you just click on the link and fill it out. And the good thing about it is you can actually fill in quite humorous things in there. It's quite configurable. I'll go in and show you guys that in a sec. What else have we got? We've got to say a big thank you, I'll just get rid of that, to all of our supporters through Patreon and through YouTube membership. So a massive big thank you to all of those guys there. Beautiful. And, if you are looking through the YouTube chat or the Twitch chat and you see people with little icons next to their name, for example, Human Error has got a little Synth Geekery keyboard next to his name, and you'll see Kent Spong's got one as well. They are channel members. To Sophie Music's got one as well. So channel membership's pretty cheap. I think it starts at couple of bucks, so do consider doing that. And then there's other benefits you get, like for example, they got videos before you guys publicly get them. They get access to other things as well. So go check out that and support the channel. If you're watching this on replay, don't forget that you can also post comments about this video. You're watching it on replay. A lot of people don't get to see it because of whatever time zone they're in, and I fully understand it. We can't be everywhere in the world at the same time, which is really hard, but feel free to jump comments in, and you can also send thanks. There's a little thanks button on there if you want to support the show that way. That would be great. Don't forget, it is something that we do for free. We don't monetize the show. We don't get paid to do this, and everything, keeping the lights on, the internet connected. The Zoom gets paid, Streamlabs get paid, everyone gets paid except us. So, and it's your support that actually helps. So I do appreciate that.
I was only here for the money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like the music industry, isn't it? What do we get out of the music industry these days? Biscuits and crumbs. Fantastic. Yeah. Right. And it looks today like I can actually go back and multi-chat again. Hooray! Which means I don't have to send the messages 3 times to the 3 different platforms that we're streaming on. Right, let's go and say hello to all the guests here, starting with Daren. How are you, mate? How's your week been?
Good day. Afternoon. I know that's what Ian does, so I'm not doing that.
You can have it, Daren. Honest, go for it.
No. That's your catchphrase. Well, I've not been doing much this week. Again, that's another week I've not been doing anything. If you've followed me on Facebook or anything, you will have seen that I've got.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
So basically, I've literally just switched it on the last. That's probably a bit late actually, because I've been messing about with it the last, 20 minutes, something like that. So yeah, I've not had. It's
yeah.
So I've been having to play with just get myself into a bit of Electron, which is something
I didn't actually see which one that was. Is that the motorcycles?
It's the model cycles, yeah.
Yep, beautiful.
So, a bit of FM, because I haven't really got a huge amount of FM. In fact, have I got any true FM? I know it's not a DX7 FM, but it's a little bit of FM. So I've just been playing that for the last 20 odd minutes, so out of the box. So basically that's what I've done this week, 20 minutes before the show. Messing about with that. That's all I've got to report.
Okay. Well, if that's all, we will scoot over to the next person. Thanks, mate. Hey, Andy.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Early Morning Starts.
Yeah, still gonna be. It's only an hour difference, but it makes a lot when you're not getting that much sleep. So I'm all right. But the the sickness is basically gone, so that's good.
Ah, good.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I don't know, the last couple times I've gotten sick over the last 5 or 6 years, these flu strains are kind of nasty. They linger longer than they should. There's a lot of that
I noticed that.
lung butter that hangs around for a long time, which is really obnoxious. Yeah. And other than that, it's nothing. People go, I got to go to the doctor. It's like, no, you're not a doctor. It's just if you have issues, then yes, you do. If you have immune issues and some other, yes. But most people can just tough it out through all the blues and all the colds and stuff like anyone else. And just, I used to go to work sick just because sometimes a couple of jobs I had in the past, they were contract and they didn't pay for medical or vacation. So I said, well, I'm taking Dayquil and I'm sitting at my desk and not bugging anybody, and nobody knew I was sick. So sometimes you have to do that, right? Because you got to make the money. Anyway, so yeah, that's good. That's going on. Not a whole lot going on musically. I didn't do hardware jams last weekend. I may not do it this weekend. We'll see how I feel. Sometimes I'm just not motivated. You got to get in the mood for that stuff. Even though it is fun, you got to be in the right mood. Otherwise, you're just kind of phoning it in. That's not really what I want to do. I want to make it fun. So, other than that, and I see this show about studio tours, right? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
So your post says.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm obviously not in my studio right now, but I have 2 studio tours I shot for Clownfest, so I can put the links for those in the chat later. You guys can watch that. They're kind of long. It's like 2 hours total for both tours or something. So,
Wow. Yeah. I've watched them.
You get a
Actually.
studio
and unfortunately, some
tour
of that stuff
every
is
time in a
gone.
month.
Yeah, exactly. And some of that stuff is unfortunately gone because it got ripped off. So it's like a historic document. But anyway, that's about it. So happy to be here, and I'll slowly wake up here. So thank you.
Awesome. Heading over to Ian. Ian, how's your week been, mate?
Good day, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night. We're back in good old Somerset, so the tour is over. Although I've been doing this week most of the week, I've still been watching short films because there's over 300 films that we have access to, and the festival still goes on until the end of this month. So I spent most of the week sort of just dipping in and out of films, which has been quite a nice thing to do, actually, rather than, the 5 days up in York were great. It was brilliant to go home and sort of hang around York and see old friends and stuff like that and play an EMON, but it's quite nice to sort of, I'll just watch a 10-minute film because the longest film is about 40 minutes. And there's all sorts of documentaries, comedy, animation, all sorts of stuff. So and some really, really, really good stuff. We did film a short video about it on Wednesday, and then Friday I finally released my last album, which was been available on Bandcamp for a while, but it's now gone on streaming services, which is the Fraser Syndrome, and I did a new video for that, just to tie up the loose ends of that, really. And that's pretty much it, really. Watched a couple of videos this morning, a couple of short films this morning. So yeah, not an awful lot of music, but I did film my studio tour finally because I've been threatening to do that since we moved to Somerset. So we've got that to come. But it's a nice week actually. I have to get back to some proper work next week, I think.
Awesome. We'll scoot on over to that 4-up just while we wait for Chris to come back to the show.
Seems to be a low music month. Just on the studio tours, I can give you one quite quickly. Ta-da! There's my tour.
Yay, good stuff.
We'll get to the studio tours in our Saturday Sonority section. So just hold off on that, everyone. I do have some people who have submitted their studio tours, so thank you to those people who have actually gone in and done the effort for it, but there wasn't many. So I was probably about that close to thinking about not actually doing it on this show this week.
Can I just butt in here a sec?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we've not had a name that's synth for a while, if you've ever noticed to the left of me, here, there, it's always been covered. So it doesn't matter if you go back through the whole of Ranzee's show trying to see what it is, because it's never been uncovered. I will at some point get to do a name that synth with that item under there. So when I get chance, yeah. But the thing is, it's been there for like, I'd say a good 12 months. But it's never been viewable.
Everyone's going back now, 12 months of
they'll be going back looking at old
seeing
shows.
if they could find one where you've forgotten to cover it.
You can see it, every show, you'll see that it's covered with either some sort of polythene or this, and it's always been covered, so you can't make out what it is. Well, I hope not, otherwise it'll ruin name that synth when I do it.
We'll look forward to it. Awesome. Okay, it's been a pretty big week this week, I would say, for news as well, which surprised me because usually this time of the year it's not usually busy for synth news, but hey, here we are again, another week of a whole bunch of cool stuff. So do stick around for the news segment that's coming up shortly. And we also have our regular segments. We've got Funny Side coming up in a sec, and we also have some nice interesting scams to look at this week. Yes, I found some scams. Hooray! In Price Watch. So that'll be good. We get our teeth into those. So, yeah. shall we say quick g'day to the chatties before we jump over to the next? This is our new view for chatties, so I can show Twitch, Trovo, and YouTube. At the moment, no one's on Twitch and Trovo, so that's fine. And it could stay that way forever, but I will keep streaming to these platforms because people have asked. And it's funny because people ask, and then you do it, and they don't use it. So I'm like, okay, no worries. Anyway, but yeah, big hello to everyone in chat. One of the things,
Ranzee, no good deed goes unpunished. So
that's it, buds. That's it.
Yeah.
One of the things I was looking at doing was you can set up with the chat to have like a members only chat for like a limited amount of time, and then you can actually turn off that restriction so that everyone can chat later on. So let us know if you guys are against that sort of thing, if you're for that sort of thing. Because I wanted to sort of get a feel for what people like and dislike. See other people do it on YouTube channels. So I do know that members kind of do expect something in return, and that is a feature that usually, generally speaking, a channel member would like to see. So anyone who's a moderator or a channel member will be able to see. So let us know for that in the chat. Right, let's get stuck into the show, starting with Funny Side. Yes, this is your track idea, and this is your new finished track. I think that was sent in by Robbie Puricelli. That one was quite interesting. I thought that Daren definitely must have used the Force to make that track.
They actually should use the CG Princess Leia, which looks terrible, right?
Yeah. Now let's get someone who's missing. We can put someone there. We go. Cool. All right, going on to the next. Randomly does that each week because people come and go. We got this one. Anyone who's had a kid before would probably relate to this. I thought that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's actually a good one.
It is a good one. Noticeably on this, it doesn't go up to 11 though.
Yeah.
Probably for a good.
No good, and it's not purple.
True.
Fair enough. Next, we've got the Bee Gees Rhythm Machine.
Oh
yeah. Does anyone actually have one of these?
No,
I saw a video on it once. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Tinker Tonk pianos, right?
The signatures on it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think Simon the Magpie did a video on it. It's pretty
Who's
crazy.
Rob Silly? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought if you bought it, you've probably been robbed silly. But, gosh. Hang on. That joke probably... Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep going, shall we?
Yeah.
What else we got? Oh, this one is for Kent, because I saw Kent in the chat before. He'd like this one. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
We were sitting on the couch today watching a movie with the youngest son, and the dog just kept bringing the ball up to the couch, and it was just getting so freaking annoying. We just wanted to watch the movie. Just go away with your ball. Oh dear, and that kind of just related to that one. That is for sure. Yeah. And I think we've got one more. Yes, we do. Topical for this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
So, Hobie's like, you can get this thing, but you can also get two of those things for less than that price.
Yeah.
So, what are you thinking,
not an
people?
art piece.
Yeah. Well, we'll actually talk about this very shortly, actually, and I've got some other pricing comparisons to sort of discuss with you about this, so do stay tuned with that. That is definitely going to interest everyone. What was your favorite meme this week, please let us know in the chat.
I think I like the dog and the ball, the girl.
Yeah, dog and the pacifier. Those are both really good.
Yeah,
You must pick one. Which
There
one
only
would it
one.
be?
go on, Andy.
Pacifier, because where I was lately, there was a kid crying for hours, and I wanted to have at least something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really tough on a train or a plane when you've got a crying baby. You know.
Well,
Oh,
there's
there was that video recently with that kid that went completely nuts on a plane in Australia.
yeah.
I think it was in the US. It
Yeah.
was like completely out of control kid.
Do you guys know Phil Tippett, the animator, did all the stuff for Star Wars, like the Tauntaun, and also did RoboCop and all that? He did a crazy
No.
movie, fully animated, called Mad God. You got to go check it out. That's just bonkers, right? All animated. And he said they purposely put baby crying in several scenes because it was unsettling and annoying.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah.
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 I'm going to say the Star Wars one looks like it's got the Guernsey this week. By judging by the results in the chat, it was pretty much a toss up between that and the dog ball, but I think the Star Wars one just gets it over the line with the count that I just did.
Yeah.
Excellent. There you go. Enjoy that. Right. News time. Let's get stuck into it. Starting with this. We do have, don't worry, we will get to the teenage engineering one.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Yeah.
And we will get to it. If you're looking at this stuff too, generally speaking, this stuff comes on the show, unless I change it on purpose, it comes on the show probably in order that we see it arrive during the week. So, I see it arrive anyway over my desk. And I thought this thing was insane. Have you guys seen this thing? The Paint Audio Computer Effects CE1. No. So really what this is basically Windows.
Yeah.
So there's actually a little PC in there that they've set up, and it's got VSTs all in there, and you can manipulate those through this guitar effects pedal. I don't get it. It's a bit bonkers for me.
It's like a Muse receptor with a screen.
We're not going to watch the 16-minute video, but let's have a little look anyway, see what he says about it.
Through the whole process of installing a very famous effects software, the Neural DSP plugin, also do some basic settings about using the CE1's audio interface and the MIDI controller. And the first step, you need to register on this website and also buy the software. Or maybe you can download the trial version for a 14 days tryout. Assume you have already.
So first thing that I picked up on was that you buy this thing, right? And it costs you, I can't remember what it said. They said it cost us, but let's quickly go to my notes. Can't even remember. I think it was something like $1,600 US, right? Wow. And then you get it, and you have to go and buy the software.
Already register on this website, then you already buy the plugin. So you need to download and install the softwares and configure the iLog something, and then.
So if you do already own plugins, then obviously that's fine.
And make it.
Yeah, it's $1,100
to this
US.
So Windows. This one.
Let's just get into him actually using it somewhere here.
License.
Is it a Windows embedded version?
ID and the password.
Ranzee?
Only.
Sorry, say that again.
Is it Windows embedded or is it just a regular Windows? Good
question. Can you tell? Does it look like Windows CE to you?
Well, I just want to, because that's like the.
I mean, that's what he's called.
Miko and Nico kind of had a Windows embedded kind of thingy going on there. I think I can't remember.
To the USB to this one, and it's named like a. Here you can select anything like 48, 96, 441.
The other thing I should mention too, I forgot to mention, is that it actually has a pretty decent audio interface in it as well. So it's not just a VST thing. But geez, I mean, this is kind of
Yeah,
convoluted.
it says it's a Intel
Most
processor
important-
N200 6M cache with up to 3.7 gigahertz. So whatever, that's the processor.
Yeah.
Doesn't say what the operating system is. Windows 11, it says. Just says
Now your
Windows
pedals
11.
can have blue screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to hear some demos. I'm just going to see if I can find the other video that he did where he actually did some audio demos.
It's bonkers. Absolute bonkers.
Yeah, I'm not going to... actually, I'm not even going to attempt to look because it looks like his videos are very instructional. So, yeah, it'd be nice to hear some demos of it. It probably is in that video somewhere, but I never really got a chance to get to it because it wasn't in the first 10 minutes. If you're going to release a product, right, do a little intro at the start, showing the product at work. I mean, it's obviously a guitar pedal, so show a guy playing a guitar at least or a synth through it with it running some VSTs. So yeah.
I mean, the website, the web page looks like a manual. It goes on forever.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, the last thing we want to do is
30 pages.
The last thing we want to do
38
is like clicking with a mouse on Windows in your guitar pedal. I don't know. But tell
Could
us
be
what
worse.
you guys
It could
think.
have a foot pedal joystick where you have to navigate the cursor.
I
Chatties,
get it, and then I don't get it.
Let us know what you think in chat, please. Let us know what you think. I'm the same, Darren. I understand what they're doing, but I don't really see... I haven't really sort of had anyone ever come to me and say, you know what, we should put Windows in a guitar pedal.
Yeah, it's not the way to do it.
I get the fact. I mean, I think that'd be great to have. Yeah, to have VSTs.
I have
on
the
a
V
small
Machine by
desktop
SM
unit.
Pro Audio.
Yeah.
Just let Darren go first. Darren, you go.
Sorry, yeah.
I say I get the point of having sort of like VSTs, so you can have all the different VSTs on a sort of desktop or foot pedal sort of effects unit. But I don't get the way he's done it. It's just like not that way.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
No, yeah, sorry. I thought he'd try. Yeah, the V Machine, which is like an Australian version of React Muse Receptor. I have one of those, and there's no screen other than real basic functions. So if it's a graphical VST, you pretty much can't really use all the features. But like stuff you can't get anymore, like Camel Fat by Camel Audio that swallowed up by Apple.
Yeah.
I have Camel Fat, Camel Space, a few other things on this pedal, and it works really well. The problem is something like Camel Space, where it actually has a section that requires a cursor. I can't really manipulate the right way, but it does work on there. I think it was a Linux interpreter. It's got like it takes the Windows things.
Wine on it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like a front end on it to make it run on a little Linux box. But so these things have been around for a while without a full-on screen that work pretty well. But yeah, it's a little funky. It's I understand why they want to do it, but it's in practice it's weird.
The left circular black circle thing is actually your mouse.
Oh,
the
it
right
is mouse.
one,
Okay.
Yeah, it is, and the right one is MIDI control rotary knob. Apparently, no, I just think it's.
So you can install a stylus on your foot and use your foot to move.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, your toe. It's got to be your big toe, isn't it?
Just need to
take your shoes and socks off. Big toe.
But I mean, you could just get like a MIDI controller, which has got foot switches on it, and just have your laptop sort of sitting nearby and plug that into your laptop. And most people already have laptops or an iPad. Yeah, exactly.
You could Velcro something to your guitar, your XY pad or something.
This is kind of what I was thinking. Is like, what market research have these guys done that justifies that they've actually gone to so much trouble to build this product? That actually sort of.
And what happens if you stand on the screen by accident? With it being.
Oh, good question. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is the Paint Audio Computer Effects. I think it's obviously made in China, and it's a Chinese-based product. If I didn't get that right, please let us know if you're the manufacturer in chat. And, hook us up if you guys have got some better demos than what you've got on your YouTube channel. Do send them through, and we can show them next week. Right, next. Boom. Herbs and Stones Mousse.
Ooh.
It's an interesting looking thing, isn't it? What is it?
This is not eurorack, is it?
No, this is a desktop module. So you're safe, Ian. Yes.
Yeah. Herbs and Stones do quite a few full desktop modules.
Thank God for that then.
Let's have a look at the video. It's only 2 minutes long. So Herbs and Stones are a Italian boutique manufacturer. I don't know if you guys have heard of them before. What did they produce? They produced a product called Liquid Foam a while back, which was a dual analog groove box. And they had a drum machine as well called the Gentle Wham. I can't remember them myself, those products, but maybe we showed it. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I can't even remember last 5 minutes ago.
Clips. So it's not banana clips.
Yeah. Well, you've got a 30 by 20 sort of grid thing, right? That you're looking at there.
It looks a little bit like a board game.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
A bit of tic-tac-toe or something like that.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Interesting with the knobs, buttons, inputs and outputs. The I/O is highlighted using black and white elements, so that's kind of the key there.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's
The white
hard
rings
to
remind me
know.
of those stickers you put on your binder paper so you don't rip your binder
Yep.
paper.
Yep.
I actually don't really know much about the specs of this because their website doesn't actually have anything on it yet. But if we just look at it, we can guess a few things on there. Like, for example, you can see that it has a dual engine sort of oscillator thing with two independent sort of... I thought they were sort of digital, sort of hybrid sort of sounding synth engines, so I'm not really sure if there was any analog in it or not, but that's kind of the feel that I got with it. It felt a bit sort of digital FM-y. The two oscillators are different in the sense that they offer different sort of timbre, but one was sort of like mod and feedback type, and the other one was sort of wave and noise type. So I'm guessing so that they can give that sort of percussive sound as well. There was two envelope generators I could see on there, each with a decay knob. So I'm not sure if they're just decay envelopes or whether there's some hidden functions with that. And there's also two LFOs and a bunch of other things. I mean, obviously you can see there's a whole bunch of patch points and knobs and stuff on there as well. No price, no availability, but just thought, shivers, we should have a look at this before You know, because it just sounded cool. It looked cool. I thought it was different. I could see one of us getting this. I really could.
Well, I was trying to remember where I saw these guys, and Perfect Circuit carries a whole bunch of these. I thought first I thought they were a modular company, but now I remember I saw all these boxes. They have like 4 or 5 at Perfect Circuit, and no one's ever playing them. It's there for sale. So
I have to say I'm slightly underwhelmed by it, if I'm honest.
All right.
I think
maybe it's just the demo, but it just didn't float my boat. It'd be nice to know how much it cost, but
Have no idea.
no, I've tried to look as well.
I'd have more fun with my Zero Coast than this.
Yeah, I've got so lots of
Liquid
weird
and
stuff.
foam, I
that'll
think
do
you'd have
this
more
sort of
fun
thing.
with, Ian.
Sorry, say again.
I
Go
said
on.
liquid and foam out of them, I think you'd have more fun with.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you, Darren?
Originally I wanted to get a liquid and foam when it first came out as a desktop because it looked interesting and I quite like the sort of way it sort of worked. But not sure about this. I think I'll probably stick with me electron cycles.
Well, I mean, that's a different beast altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And the Chatties, some people sort of said not for me. Some people said I've got gas. Some people said I have got no gas. Yeah. So interesting.
I mean, the liquid and foam is £370. So if it's a similar sort of price, under 400 quid, then and it's not for. I don't think it's for me. I've got other things that'll be weird like this. You know.
I mean, if you were into mushrooms, you're probably not going to be so much into herbs. But the result might be stoned.
I forgot, is all their stuff Banana Jack, or they have a mix of stuff?
I thought it's all banana.
And the liquid foam here is Banana Jacks, but I don't know if it's all Banana Jacks or not.
Yeah, it looks Banana Jacks. Yeah. Anyway, interesting. Hey, we should.
It's definitely interesting.
They've done a video. We can't complain. They've done a video. The only thing that we don't know is the price.
Exactly. I think you need to sort of go and play with it and see what it's like in the flesh.
It's in that meh category.
Why has that not updated?
Yeah.
It's something you would get something going, record it, and then like turn it off and do something with it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I just don't know why that's not updating the title down below. It's a bit weird. Anyway, it's not updating it, but it's definitely updated down the bottom.
It can't understand the product, so it's just going to stay with what it's already got.
Oh, there's a.
Yeah.
I understand what's going on now. Name. Was it name? Hang on a second. I've accidentally pasted something in to the title link. That's a bit silly of me, isn't it?
Well,
you guys can't see what I'm looking at, so don't worry.
No.
Don't panic, anyone. It's not worth panicking about. But I need to go across to here. And that's the title there, right? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So, where is the actual
don't
news
trust the
title?
man behind the curtain. We got to keep the illusion.
There's the news title there. Okay, cool. So if I go into here, title editor, data sources, table news, column auto selected. All right. We'll just have to persevere with it, guys. Sorry, it's not updating the title. I do apologise, but I can't seem to get it to.
It's all right. They've given us a nice big title anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not updating. Yeah. All right, we'll go to the next one anyway. Now this is the maybe we'll just turn it off, eh?
Yeah.
Just hold a piece of paper up for each thing on the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll just turn it off. Boom. All right. Next is the Cinco by ST Modular. The Cinco is a Eurorack module. Sorry, Ian.
Don't worry,
it
it's
is
fine.
a series of
I can
5
survive.
oscillators that can be controlled in a pitch from a single source, and it generates drones, chords, and massive walls of sound that stand out from a classic single wave oscillator type setup. So I think there was a video. There was. Good. Okay. Let's get that fired up and going. Sorry about the titles. I will sort that out later on. Okay, let's have a listen.
Let's take a look at the Cinco module from ST Modular. Cinco consists of a series of 5 oscillators that can be controlled in pitch from a single source. It generates drones, chords, and massive walls of sound that stand out impressively from classic single-wave oscillators. The module boasts 5 oscillators capable of generating drones or chords comprising 5 notes, accessible from the mix-out socket. Oscillators 1 and 2 offer a choice between a saw or pulse waveform, each selectable via dedicated toggle switches. Oscillators 3 to 5 exclusively output a saw waveform. Each oscillator's tuning can be adjusted independently using the tune and find controls. Simultaneous pitch control for all 5 oscillators is facilitated by patching CV to the CV all input. Moreover, the Tune All knob allows for collective transposition of all oscillators, with the range of transpose amount adjustable via a trimmer located on the module's rear. Utilize the 5-level controls to precisely adjust the volume of each oscillator or completely deactivate them by turning the controls fully counterclockwise. Additionally,
Stop. Anyway, there she is, the Cinco. And let's get rid of his arm. Move.
Yeah.
Yeah. ST Modular do some pretty cool stuff, by the way. This is only 14 HP. Yeah. I mean, polyphonic, no. In a sense, you know, chords and fat sort of sounds and that. They are analog. They're analog oscillators. You get 2 saw or pulse and 3 saws. So you can choose between saw and pulse on the first 2, and then you get 3 saw waves. I'm trying to work out how they've done this, because is that a sort of divide down sort of trick? Because what gives it away for me was, if they were all separate oscillators, there wouldn't be this, oh, you've got a choice between 2 saw or pulse and the rest have to be saws. Do you know what I mean? If they were all separate oscillators, you'd be able to choose whatever waveform you wanted and away you go, right? To me, it seems to be some sort of what really kind of is similar to this was the Waldorf rocket. The Waldorf, or Waldorf, if you want to correct me, the rocket had that monophonic oscillator, and then you could turn the knob and it would go into this chord mode, and it used a feature on this chip-based oscillator that made it sort of multi-voiced, but it was paraphonic, and this is paraphonic, right, in that sense. What else has something similar to that? The Pulse 2, I think, Daren? The Pulse 2 is kind of similar to that, isn't it?
Similar, yeah.
So,
Did you guys notice that the beating of the 5 oscillators was off, though? I mean, they didn't, when they dropped out into unison, it didn't really sound that.
at the first time he used that, yeah, the tuning went off, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a little sour.
But there is a tuning control on the second row, so you would just muck around with it. But geez, that would be a big issue if you started going down pitch and eventually she started wandering off tune.
Like the toffee-coloured knobs.
Yeah, interesting colours. Yep. Probably not for me.
How much is it?
I have no idea.
They can make them smell like toffee and like the Teenage Engineering chocolate thing.
Yeah,
Modular Grid says.
now we're talking. That'll get me some money.
You can lick to it.
Yeah. I'm only going to buy modules that I can lick.
145. That's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
That's all right, isn't it?
Modular Grid
I would've thought
says
I would've expected
no price. So how did we get price on that, guys?
Wagyu said 145.
All right. Interesting, because Modular Grid don't have a price. All right, cool.
It's like,
If it is that price, that's not bad, really, considering.
300 Australian.
So you know, if he said the price,
£145.
he knows the price.
yeah.
Look, like I said before, ST Modular do some good stuff. The things that we've shown that they've done in the past, which was where was it? Was it? I'm trying to think what it was called. Was that weird filtery sort of thing, like a? Trying to think what it was called now. We've shown their stuff anyway before, but I'm pretty sure it was like a weird filtering module that they did recently.
The company is familiar, but I can't think of anything they made.
They've got a heap of modules, heaps. Like there's a lot of discontinued ones, but at a glance, I'd say at least 40, 50 modules there in their collection.
Yeah, Wagyu says he got the price from Pusher Man products that carry ST Modular stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that sounds
Anyway,
legit,
give them some
doesn't it?
love if you like it, and don't if you don't. And we'll move on to the next, which is not showing. Yes, it is showing now. We do have to show this, don't we? What did you guys think of this news during the week?
Well, I was unimpressed. Well, because I didn't like my Polyend tracker, I just dismissed this. Now, maybe I shouldn't have done, because I know that it's not a Polyend tracker in that sense. It's
before you dismiss it.
I'm not going to dismiss it.
I'll tell you a couple of things about it. We'll play a video, and then you can tell me if you still want to dismiss it.
It has some good features, for sure.
This,
Yeah.
Okay, so other than it being a grid-based Groovebox type system, which Polyend are basically all about, right?
Box without proper rhythm sounds. It's just synthy rhythm sounds.
So this plays 3 synths at once via scenes, and the use of either using a sequencer, the chord entry thing, or parameters. It has 8 synth engines. They all have their own unique names. VAP is a dual oscillator VA polysynth. PHZ is a phase distortion engine with dual oscillators, advanced modulation settings, and newly created phase distortion algorithms, which is interesting because I'm like, okay, well, what are the newly created phase distortion algorithms sound like? Maybe we'll hear that in a sec. ACD is a recreation of the acid style synths. Virtual analog again, like the SH101 or the TB303. FAT is a 3 oscillator virtual analog synth. PMD is a physical modeling synth. I'm wondering if that's built after the rings module from...
It's supposed to be like rings and elements, yeah.
Yeah. Grain is a 2-mode granular synth with novel burst mode for time-synced or rhythmic grains, and cloud mode for big fat pads or textures. Waves is a wavetable synth which morphs between 2 wavetables with controlling over the scanning and phase warping. And you've got WTFM, I love that, WTFM. 2-operator FM synth, 2-operator FM. Now that's got to be interesting, right? 2-operator FM that uses wavetable based driven that's interesting again, with a 3 times feedback system. So that's going to sound kind of wacky, really wacky. Okay, so that alone gives you those 8 engines, gives you some really interesting stuff.
It does. Yeah.
Whether it's unique to these guys, maybe some of it is, some of it's not. I'm not sure.
And you can load samples into the granular engine, so it kind of can be a sample playback thing too.
But on top of that, you've got a built-in sequencer and arpeggiator. You've got polyphonic aftertouch. It's got multi-effects with mod, delay, and reverb effects built in. It's got scenes, and you can combine a synth engines, as I mentioned before, up to 3 at once. There's a visual feedback OLED display, and it's also 8 voice polyphony, and it's only $499 or euros.
Yeah, it's dollars, euros.
Also PAT. It's not MPE, but it's PAT.
All right. Okay.
Let's have a look at the vid, and we'll then make some decisions, I guess. It sounds like Ortekra.
The chord follow functions.
Seriously, that sounds like an Ortekra track. Almost identical. Looking a bit clearer. I think you can plug a keyboard into this, right? So you don't have to play it through the pads.
There's touch encoders, which are nice.
Tells you the different engines he's using there. So remember how I said before you can play 3 synths at once? So that's what's showing up on the left. So you can layer them. Obviously you'd lose polyphony and voicing, doing that. So
I think it sounds good. And the price is okay.
Two things that were kind of the two things that are kind of annoying about it, it clips really easily, and it's digital clipping, so it can get really gnarly if you're not careful. And also the effects are all sends; they're not individual layer effects, which can be.
It's limited. Yeah. In that sense, it's limited. I don't think it's truly a groove box, though. Do you know what I mean? I think it's more a generator. No. It's a sound generator.
Yeah.
It has groove box features.
If I had 500 quid to spend, I'd probably not buy this. Then I would buy the circuit tracks because I like the way the circuit works.
Well, the new D.T.H too.
I don't want to get into Electron. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I've just got enough rabbit.
I've start with the one Daren got. That's really good.
Yeah.
The samples and the cycles are very good.
Because Andy said, and it's actually, Ian, I've only had it for 20 minutes, and I didn't think I'd like Electron stuff, and it's. I think it might be starting to click. I quite like it.
In 20
Sam-
I
minutes.
got both the
That's really
samples
good.
and cycles for 250 each
And-
used,
yeah.
so they're really cheap if
Yeah.
you look around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they have velocity pads,
hmm.
which all the electron stuff doesn't have.
Anyway, let's hone it back to this because we've completely flown off on a tangent. It was my fault. I mentioned
So that
Digitech.
was my fault, wasn't it?
Um, okay, so a few people mentioned in chat that they thought it sounded okay.
I think it sounds okay.
I mean, don't forget,
I've
guys.
heard
This
different
is
demos.
YouTube.
Some sound amazing, some sound like crap.
This is YouTube.
So.
It's going to compress the crap out of the audio. It's probably
Absolutely.
who knows
It'd
what.
be good as a good pad creating atmospheric machine, I think, as well. And if it's got a decent arpeggiator, maybe some quite cute melodies and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's suited for those people who want that generative sort of sound and they like that grid-based production. I mean, you know, it's going to be a bit of a pain to plug a keyboard into this each time you want to use it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to get to use that grid-based sort of production. I learned it when I bought the first Ableton Push, and I kind of I'm in two minds with it. I mean, it's fun, it's good when you want to do some cool things like different scales, and you want to do some chord play and things like that. There's some real cool tricks that you can do with your finger positions for a grid bass. You can't do that with a key. So that kind of stuff does, level you up in that sense. But if you were trying to play this thing like a proper synth, you'd need keys, and obviously you'd have to plug in a little
for
MIDI controller into
exploration
it.
stuff. Complex chord shapes are easy on the compared to a keyboard. So.
In terms of controls, it's a little quirky. I felt like if you look at the user interface, I felt it was a bit quirky looking. You've got those three buttons underneath the screen that sort of access the menu that's just above it, and then you've got a rotary encoder on the left, and then there's a whole bunch of other sort of parameter-based controls, and then there's assignable controls depending on what synth engine you're in or what part of the sequence, all that sort of, they changed, and that's that grid of 3x3. So that kind of will take a little bit to sort of get used to. But other than that, yeah, $499 is not too bad.
I think the price is fine, really.
Polyend do make good stuff.
Yeah, I think it wasn't, the tracker wasn't for me, but
it is quite menu divey, so if you're not into that might be a problem. But
most of the Polyend things are menu divey, I feel.
Yeah.
And it's not a criticism of theirs. It's because they actually go quite deep. Their products do go quite deep.
Well, and the nice thing, you don't have a close-up of the interface here, but it uses like real words and clear labels for stuff. So if you are going through the layers, it's super easy to read everything and know what's going on.
Right.
They're not esoteric at all.
No, it's not letting me zoom.
Like Electron, you have to memorize the symbols and stuff, what everything means. This is just words. They just give you words,
I'm just trying to find a way to give you that a little bit closer. There we go. And then I can zoom. No. There we go. Better. There you go. Closer look.
There you go,
Yeah.
And like some people said in the chat, it has some engines already existing. So if you have presets from other Polyend stuff, you can bring them into here. If the engines are the same, certain ones are the same and some aren't. So.
Yeah. All right, the Polyend tracker. I do believe you can actually get this now, from what
yes, you can.
What I've worked out. But yeah,
shipping within 2 days from their website. It says.
Yeah. Probably not for me, personally.
No.
I don't really feel I need another multi-synth engine. But I can see some.
Although if you're not a
DJs
modular person
like
and you
this.
want something like elements or whatever, it's a good way to get that elements or rings thing without buying modular.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we should head on to the next. which is this weird looking thing. Did you guys see these photos coming out? This company is Katla, and this is the Genki. These are from Iceland, these guys. And so what you're looking at is the volcanic volcanic stone, I guess it is. Molten lava stone. Interesting looking synth. I mean, I was just about spat out my Wheaties when I heard the price.
Okay.
It was €4,990.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, it looks expensive.
It is from Iceland, don't forget.
Well, it does cost a lot to get stuff out of Iceland, but I didn't think it was that bad. Anyway.
Oh, yes.
Hybrid synth. Apparently it has both digital and analog circuitry. I'm guessing that oscillators are digital, I think. Excuse me. It looks to me across... It's got a weird looking interface on it. So it looks to me across it you've got some sort of mono, duo, paraphonic play mode, and also there's a quad and a round robin thing on there with unison. But so Hawk Eyes, if you guys were looking at this carefully, would have picked up on the far top right hand corner are two physical spring reverbs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they are completely obviously analog, if that's the right term for it. So they're not digital DSP based, they're proper spring reverbs. It also has a WASP and an MS-20 based high and low pass filter in it. And there's also other multi-effects. I think there was some sort of digital based multi-effects in here. 2 envelope generators, multi-wave LFO, sample and hold. No sound demos yet. Wonder why. I mean, surely have they just designed a panel and not heard it? I mean, yeah, surely you can get some sounds for this thing. Let us know in chat if you've heard this thing. Because I mean, it looks interesting. Looks like a black and white version of some Swiss cheese on the left, on the side cheeks.
Yeah, yeah. Not gone on the side cheeks, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's like lunar craters.
Yeah.
Definitely different, and it'll be Icelandic volcanic rock because they do a lot of sculpting with that stuff over there.
Yeah, they've got plenty of it, don't they? Because it keeps spewing it out everywhere.
Yeah.
CS80 style sliders. I like that. I kind of don't mind that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, interesting looking design, I guess. Not really sure how I feel about spending $4,990 on a synth that hasn't even got a keyboard.
Yeah, that's definitely pristine.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy 2 OPXYs.
Anyway, big shout out to all the Icelandic viewers, which I think right now would probably be a big fat zero watching this show right now. But if there are, hey, let us know.
There must be one. Yeah.
Let us know.
We might get some hate watchers if we make fun of this too much. So
That's true.
If they can't, if they don't have a sense
like
of humor,
Iceland. I've been there 6 times or so. I'm a Icelandic fan. So
yeah. Well, we'd love to hear this thing and not just see a CGI computer generated graphic.
Great country if they want to send one of them over for me to just test on that show. Maybe I don't live that far away. Yeah.
Yeah, the scenery there's amazing.
Yeah, bit far away from me though.
Yeah.
We shall persevering.
2.5 hours flight.
You guys are gonna want to see this product. There it is.
Yes.
Oh yes.
It's tiny, isn't it?
It's very small. I love this. I just don't love the price.
Let's have a look at the little video. All right, there it is there. It's the Teenage Engineering OPXY. No Z, unfortunately, just XY. Apparently, from what I can work out, it is a hybrid of the OP1 field and the OPZ.
Yeah.
That's what they do actually say on their marketing material. But a lot of people have been saying that they don't think it's much of the OPZ. So I'm not really sure what they mean by that, but there's always people with opinions, isn't there, at the early stages of stuff.
Well, it looks more like the OP1 for sure.
Yeah,
it does.
That might just be where it's come from. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty with this thing, I do want to mention to you the price. And the price is probably what we usually... That's probably why I never get an email from Teenage Engineering, because I always bash them about their price. But I'm not the only one in the world that's bashing them about their price. This thing is $2,299, okay? If you were to buy an OP1 and an OPZ separately, you can get an OPZ for $429 US. And to be honest with you guys, an OPZ is actually pretty capable on its own. Like
it's incredible, actually. You just have to crack
absolutely
it.
incredible.
If you can't crack
I
it,
love
you're
it.
not going to like it. But
yeah,
I'm still working on mine. I'm still getting there with mine, but here we are.
Obviously,
it goes everywhere with me.
The other product is the OP1 Field, which if you're buying it from them is $1,999 US. So this comes in at a little bit less if you were to buy both versus just getting this. Now, I would still recommend that you'd get the OPZ as. If you've never got one, get that, because I mean it's $499.
Or an original used OP1, which is only about $800 when it came out.
Yeah. Yep.
I dug out my original OP1 this week and plugged it in, and it sounds amazing. I should use it more. Yeah. I mean, there was a time I used it all the time.
I have a power switch problem with mine. So.
All right. Yeah. No, I love it. It's great. It's up there.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yep. Stop making me feel bad, guys. I sold mine so that I could pay for the software to run this show.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever got my money back.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is that going to be something that you'll get? An OPX?
Not at that price.
No, I can't afford it. I like their stuff, but
no.
Is it a black and white screen though, or grayscale? I should say screen.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No,
I was disappointed with that.
It's a theme, right? They're trying to keep a theme.
Yeah, I think I might be irritated with that if I had it after a while.
Yep.
It's funny because people want to slag them off for their. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I've not had any TE stuff, so I can't really sort of the two OPZ and OP1 people. I've got more.
Oh, honestly,
I knew it was going to be expensive. As soon as you say TE, you know it's going to be expensive. It's just a question of
no. That's the thing, though. They have a whole line of stuff that's under $1,000.
Yeah.
So people slag them off for being overpriced, and the table was dumb. And their artistic lamp and speakers and stuff are just
and
they're art guys.
Beer. You want the beer? They did the beer.
They have a lot of weird stuff that's overpriced because it's artistic crap. But the OP1 was under $1,000. All the pocket operators are cheap and useful. OPC is cheap. The KO that people like so much, like Chris said, is doing an amazing track with the KO.
I still want.
They were very.
I want a medieval.
They're all very affordable. They're all very capable, and again, you have to crack the interface. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But to slag them off just for making a couple more boutique things, when so many companies make crazy ass expensive stuff and never any cheap stuff. So it's just like Roland makes expensive and cheap stuff, and
I've had my OP1 for 10 years, longer, probably. I occasionally have to completely reset it because there's a bug in it, which is
well. That's the thing about the OP1 is over 10 years they kept updating it and they kept supporting it. How many companies support a synth more than 10 years?
Yeah, and I'll never sell it. Sorry I don't want to make you feel bad, Ranz, but it will. I'll never sell this. And the reality is, if they were stolen, I would go out and buy probably an OP1 Field. Or maybe even this. I don't know. What's the difference in price? Sure. About £300. But if you buy a brand new field, they're 1,500 quid, I think. This is 1,900 quid. So, and they're brand new out. So the price you might see a few discounts. Although, as I said in the chat of PSN last night, as an ex-teenage engineering dealer, they want you to price ring it. So the price should be the same wherever you are.
Oh, it's like Apple, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Z so much. I have two of them, and I sync them together with a single USB-C cable, and you have this crazy layout, and it goes in your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, don't bother buying the accessories like the bags. I mean, the field leather wrap bag at 250 quid. Forget it. That's ridiculous.
No.
Just,
I had the zipper bag for it. Ended up using a gun case
Yeah.
because the gun case was better. So then,
yeah, I've got the original OP1 bag, and it's crap. That wasn't cheap.
it's just not that protective.
No. Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to play one next synth show I go to.
But the cool thing about this one is it still works with the OP1 accessories, like the well, not the radio thing, because I don't think this one has a radio.
No, but it's
but it has the little crank thing and the rubber bands that goes over the wheel and all those little fun little Lego brick shaft.
I never bothered with any of that
accessories.
stuff.
Oh, that's great! It's great fun.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what was your favourite product this week?
OPXY for me, I think.
Yeah.
If we're not talking price. Yeah. If price was not an issue, that's the thing I'd be going out buying tomorrow. If I was Ty Unwin, where price isn't an issue, I would be buying that.
Well, he has all the little mixer and the little all that.
Yeah,
stuff,
he does.
right?
Yeah,
so
he does. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably have to go around and
I can't afford all that.
Play with it at his house. That's the thing I would buy.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably say nothing for me this week.
You won't buy anything, right?
No.
You could replace your OP1 with the new one.
Quite.
Ranzee.
Yeah.
Nothing rocks my boat this week. Not even the eurorack module. Sorry, guys. But if you are enjoying the show, don't forget to click like. Not just because I asked you to, but it's the right thing to do. It's a free thing that you can do. And there's only been a couple of people that have clicked like so far. I thought it was a bit sad.
Me, I'm number 2.
No one likes me anymore.
It's all right. It's all right, Rans. No one clicks mine half the time, so it doesn't matter.
20. No, there's 20. I've just refreshed it. There's 20.
Is that all?
20 likes.
Okay. Oh well. Beautiful. Okay, so we've managed to show all the products that I thought was worthy of showing this week. There were a few others that did come out, and I might think about showing some next week if I change my mind. But I'm probably, I can't remember who said it, but I think I want to stick with the gear that I've got for a while.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I've just ordered some
idea, but it's hard to do it, right? So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Absolutely. As I said to Rand earlier, I've sold 2 things this week, 2 bits of gear. So I've bought 2 more. One of them is the L6, but I've ordered something which I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to leave it till it turns up. It should be here by the end of the month.
Oh, that
it is actually the OPZ.
It's not. No. Oh, Daren, I wouldn't be able to keep that quiet if I did.
Right. Well, we should head on to the next segment because we have some scammy stuff to show you guys this week. And it's been a while since we've been able to show you some scammy stuff. Hopefully this is working. Starting with this one. Now, the guy that sent this in was... sorry, I've got to get my notes up again. Pretty sure it was Dan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Dan sent this to me. Tascam Model 12 mixing desk for $48,000. This is US dollars too, by the way. Now, when he sent this in to me, he said that he couldn't find the actual listing on Reverb. So I tried to get it up, but I think they might have taken it down. But if that was up there for a while, I mean, some poor soul that was stupid enough to pay that. That's getting a bit ridiculous.
Well, the good thing is local
my
pickup
24
only, so you know.
Yeah. My 24 is up for 90,000 if anybody wants it.
All right, let me just fix the missing person again. Where are we? Missing person number. Who have we got in here? Now I can't see. Oh, okay, we don't have it in. So there. Right, next we have this one, which is according to the person in where I got this one from. This is ridiculously priced, quote unquote. This is an Avedis MD7 Tan limited edition 500 series preamp module, and you're looking at $7,920 Australian. Yes, sorry. When I do screenshot these, it does locale the prices to wherever what country you live in. So I live in Australia. Bad luck. Just halve it for pounds, and you guys can work it out from there from what country you live in. But geez, that is ridiculous, that price.
It's that special red and silver knob. Looks like Ultraman. So
yeah, they're absolutely ridiculous. What else do we have? And we also have this, which is the Synth Modular 3000 VCO, and you're looking at $3,000 for that. I think you can probably buy the whole system from Synth Modular for that price. So someone's probably.
What is this? The original Phoenix though, the old one, because they're rare.
They're rare, but they're not like completely like. It doesn't even say it's rare in this listing. For example, this is a eBay
It's
listing.
like the Syrinx is super rare. The Phoenix is also pretty rare. So.
Yeah. Yep. But I wouldn't pay that.
No.
All right, and then out of the scam world and into sort of a bit more reality, we have the Studio Electronics Midi Mini V30 for $2,800. I think we showed one of these before recently. Basically, if you guys don't know what this is, it's a rack mount mini Moog.
Yeah,
that's what this is. So that one's based in the US, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
That's not too bad. I've seen them down to like $2,300 or something like that. So
that one's not scammy, by the way, guys. That last one, and Retro Gear Shop are quite common for posting stuff. But yeah, I can't remember if I've got the live listing for that.
Is it true? I'd heard this when was Studio Electronics actually taking. You could send them your Mini Moog and they would rack it like this.
I think that's what they did. Yeah,
true thing.
I think that rings a bell to me. I think that's true.
Yeah. This is a live listing. Let's go across to the live listing. So we can check out some nice pictures. I do like how it looks kind of semi-modular, but that's just the way they've done the panels. But I do like that. It looks kind of cool. I'm a big fan of Studio Electronics. If you haven't worked out, they make some really good gear and quality as well. So that one being used, I don't know what the story is with those guys and whether they do anything like that anymore. I doubt, but who knows? Yeah. Sometimes we find some interesting prices. So thanks to those guys who sent those in, like Dan with the Tascam Model 12. I will post all of those up in the blog article during the week. For those who don't know, you see the links and everything on the bottom of the news section. We had to take it down this week because it wasn't working properly. But there is a blog article each week that we put up. So here's last week's Synth Geekery 271. You can go in and you can see information, links to our guests and their YouTube channels and Bandcamp and play the video again on the replay, and links to all the news the news articles and links to their websites and price information And also we have the price watch segment, which I just did just then, and links to the eBay and Reverb, and also the pictures. You can go back and look at them again. I always take screenshots of the pictures because, as you guys know, a lot of those auctions get taken down after they're finished, and you never ever see that stuff again. So the cool thing about having screenshots is that they're stuck on my website forever. At least we've got something. Hey,
Ranzee, speaking of studio electronics, you still have your SEO2, or did you sell that?
No, I still got it. Yeah, it's sitting over there.
You still have it? Okay. No, cool.
Actually, you guys will see that soon when I get the Xbox controller out. Yes. Well, we probably have time to go into the Saturday Sonority segment, guys. And
Cool.
like I said, I was almost not going to do the topic this week because I really didn't get very many people. But let's run Saturday Sonority. And this is an Ask Us Anything segment. This week we are going to do studio tours. I'm going to do a studio tour of my studio just because I think, I don't think I've done one for a while. And I haven't dusted in here, so I don't care if people get pissed off about that sort of stuff. But I don't have enough time in life, mate. So I've got kids,
You don't put dust covers or anything?
No, I dust in here, but I just haven't dusted for a while. Okay, so let's head on over to the PTZ. So I'll give you guys a tour. So basically, if you look at my ugly mug, you can get a sort of an idea of what's going on in the room. So down along my left-hand side, I've got my eurorack cases, which I custom made. And a lot of people know that I'm going to say stuff that a lot of people already know that I've made this, but this is for people who are new, they don't know, so I'm just letting them know. So I've custom made these. They are 104 HP and 5 tier, so 15U I think it works out to be, right? And there's 2 of them. So we'll go and have a look at that, and then sort of heading on down, I'll sort of take you around to various different sections of the studio. Most of the stuff's plumbed, and I can show you bits and pieces if you want, or that might be really, really boring. I'm not really sure. I have no idea what people want these days, but we'll start with this. I should probably just show you guys. I use an Xbox controller to move the camera around. So you guys don't get too dizzy. So what we can do is we can do a quick tour of the eurorack, starting with the 2500 modules up top by Behringer and AM synths. So if you guys are interested in 2500 ARP 2500 stuff, that is probably the way to go. Pretty cheap from Behringer, and they sound amazing. And notice that there's a few AM synth modules in there as well. They also do it. Across the next aisle is a couple of straggler modules from the 2500, and then I'm starting to populate the VCZ3, which is a VCS3 stuff that feedback modules are doing. There's more coming in. So I've got the maths there. I've got the continuum phaser by Frequency Central, which are a UK-based company. Then we've got the System 100M clones from Behringer. So a couple of modules up there, but the main guts of them is here. Tell me if I'm going too fast with the camera, but it should be okay, right? Then next row down is kind of like my sequencer row. I've got the Metropolis by Intelligel. There's the Disting next to it, which does the quantizing duties. Then there's the 960 module from Behringer, which is based on the Moog modular. And then down the bottom is your mixer, some effects. So you've got clouds, and you've got the sea legs and a couple of modulation play things there. So that's the first case on the left, and then we can do the next case. Up the top we have the Roland System 500 stuff across the top. Then you've got a couple of modules missing at the moment because I'm doing some mucking around. then you kind of got like a bit of a hybrid bunch of stuff coming in here. So you've got Batumi, which is like a quad LFO module. You've got the 2600 VCO. You've got Brains, which is the Platts Mutable Instruments clone from Behringer. Quadigy, which is the quad envelope control. Marbles, which is the crazy CVE, pitch CVE gate module. A couple of 2 HP modules over there on the right, buff malts and stuff like that. Then on this one, I've got sequencer by Varigate. Varigate and Voltage Block, they're actually linked together. Voltage Block does CV volts per octave or modulation, and Varigate is a gate-based one with 2 CVs. Then you've got Basimilus Iteratus, which is a cool little percussive FME type thing, noisy thing. 2 Pico modules from Erica. Envelope generator from Frequency Central, another Behringer module there, which I'm just chucking in there just for some stuff that I'm doing at the moment, but I'll probably pull that back out. SID Guts Deluxe is got a Commodore 64 SID chip in it, and you can access all the features of the SID chip through that module by ALM. Then we've got some Dreadbox stuff. This is all sort of effects along here. So you've got Dystopia, which is kind of like a bit crusher / weird filter / weird, I don't know what the other thing is, like an LFO-y thing. You've got the Happy Nerding, the Erica's BBD module, which is a really, really cool bucket brigade delay module. It's a bit hard to see these modules, but you get the idea. And then you've got the Spring Reverb from Dopeford. You guys saw that a couple of weeks ago on the show. The 106 Chorus, which is a real analog Juno 106 Chorus with the correct chip in it. The MMN 3009, whatever it is. Static, which is a cool feedback module. It's like a noise module with a whole bunch of different noise systems in there, like the ZN diode type noise system, the MS type noise system. Also, it's got computer noise. You've got the sorry, is that the Happy Nerding one there? And I think that one over there is, sorry, that one's the phaser. That was the WMD Orion phaser. I should have mentioned there. And then you got Magneto by Strymon, which is a taped delay module. A couple of gatey type things there. Pamela's new workout. There's the Expert Sleepers FH2, which is a MIDI module. And then the bottom row is connectivity and mixing. And a couple of, that's my VCA matrix. And then you've got Rachel there. So that's that. So that's the 2 Eurorack systems. This is probably about as fun as watching paint dry. Just below it though, I do put some stuff on the little bench here. So at the moment I've got the sample track, I've got the SQ64, and to the left, pocket operator, SQ1.
Is that the arcade pocket operator? Is it the?
No.
Is that the arcade one?
The computery one. Forget what that one's called.
Yeah, arcade. This is arcade with the blue.
Oh yeah, arcade. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. And the Behringer Edge. Okay. And then across to the left, I've got my other Eurorack thing, which is the Nifty Keys. At the moment, she's going through a bit of a change, so we'll get to that another time. But I use that for CV and bass stuff. Above it is a rack, a 19-inch rack with a whole bunch of 19-inch rack modules in there. You got the Pro 1, the Pro 800, the Model D, and up the top the Argon 8. I do have some more rack modules that I probably should get around to putting in. That kind of fit in that sort of outside type desk stand type rack sort of set up. And to the left of it is the ARP 2600 by Behringer, and underneath that is the MIDI Route Control Center MRCC by Conductive Labs, which for those who know me know that I use that. It's all plumbed, everything's working beautiful. Strike Vet there in the corner. All right, now over you'll notice too that everywhere around this corner bit here there's some ADAT connectivity. So analog audio going into ADAT, which then light pipes back over to my desk over here. And it's a bit of a cable nightmare. There's the SCO2, Andy. The camera's going to be a bit weird now because I'm sort of telling it to move against its camber, but we'll have to work on that. So SCO2, there's some more Behringer stuff. Let's zoom out. This is this desk over here. You've got the Behringer DeepMind 12, the Roland MX1, the Novation Peak. Up higher, you've got the Yamaha CS1X and some the famous Big Sky reverb pedal there. That's all plumbed in if you need it. And across to the left, sorry, that's in the way. I'll get to that in a sec. You've got the TR8, the System 8. See, she's a bit dusty. And then the Sub 37 and the ARP Odyssey, which is the Korg ARP Odyssey, the 80% version. And then that's the Hand Sonic by Roland, little finger tappy thing. That's pretty cool fun. So yeah, that's pretty much a tour. I mean, there's a couple of synths, just there at the moment that I'm in the middle of just doing some work on. The DX7 2 works fine. The Sonic ESQ1, she's a bit sickly at the moment. I'm probably going to have to recap the power supply in that baby to get that working again. All right, let me see if I can reset that camera. Was it this one? Yep, cool. All right. So there you go. Any questions? I know there was lots of chat going on when I was doing that. It was really, really hard for me to keep an eye on chat while I was playing with my Xbox controller. I do have more stuff in the studio, by the way. Like just next to me here, I've got an MPC live. Over to the right, I've got a Akai Force. I've got a Korg Mini Log sitting over here. I've got in front of me, I've got the Behringer Kobol. So I do have other stuff. I've got another 19-inch rack cabinet just down there with a whole bunch of crap in it, like the D550 by Roland and things like that in there. So I do have other stuff in here. Just you guys probably had enough with my exciting voice. But yeah, would you guys like to see someone else's?
Yeah, go for it.
Rhetorical question. Someone's asked about the Timberwolf. You can see the Timberwolf in a box just above my finger there. Yeah. There's the Timberwolf.
It's in a box?
It's in a box. Anyone wants to buy it, let me know. But it's not going cheap.
No, nobody puts Timberwolf in a box.
Oh, I do. Let me tell you. And that's where she belongs. All right, we are going to go across to Ian's studio, and Ian has gone to the trouble to actually do a video. So, thanks, Ian.
Okay.
We'll talk about.
You talking to yourself this first bit.
It's quite poor.
Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Ian. If you've not been here before, the channel's all about music and art, and this is my studio tour. I've been meaning to do this for quite a while, but we've got around to it. So let's turn the camera around and start with the tour. The first thing to say is that all of the synths and everything normally live covered up like that, but we'll get on to those in a minute. What we've got here, let's do the speakers first. So we have a pair of original Tannoy dual concentric System 8 speakers, and above them we have a pair of AR-18s. They're a 1980s hi-fi speaker which were used in studios back in the day. They're a better alternative to the Yamaha NS10s. Tucked down there is a pair of Oratones. I only ever use them in mono, and with a very simple switching device there for speakers. We're using a Focusrite Scarlett 414 Mark III, I think it is, because we're on a Mark IV now. And below that is the latest thing, which is the Advanced Room Correction System by IK Multimedia, the IK Multimedia Studio, Arc Studio. It's brilliant. It means that I haven't done any sort of sound treatment in here. I've just set that up, mapped everything, and it's brilliant. It's just, that's the best thing I can say about it. So what else? Up here we have I've got a couple of pairs of studio headphones. This pair is my very long-suffering Sennheiser HD 650s. They're my go-to studio headphone, and there is what I think are a terrible pair of closed-back headphones. I would only really use them for recording vocals, by Shure. Can't remember which model they are. They're very uncomfortable. Shure SRH 940s. Moving swiftly along here, we've got a Yamaha DJX 90s, meant for the home market, I think, but actually it's got some really interesting stuff. You can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with it. Below that is the Leaf Audio Microphonic Soundbox Mark II. I think they're on a Mark III now. It's great for those sort of sound design type things. And we've got a tongue drum. Let's move back over here. My obligatory lava lamp, and we have my X-Touch, Behringer X-Touch, which I use for mixing really more than anything else. So if I could come to a mixing job, that's what I tend to use the X-Touch for. Side of that, we have my Hydrosynth, which is connected as my main studio keyboard. Side of that, we have, let's move the Shure, not Shure, it's not Shure at all. This is a Rode NT2A, I think. I've got a pair of them. We've got a Model 24, which all of the synths are wired into, and it has now been set up and updated so that it can be used as an audio interface to the Studio Mac. Having said that, I would only ever record into it and then record to the Mac. Just to show you where the Mac is, the Mac is down there along with a circuit and a few other bits of rubbish and all sorts of stuff. Up here we have Dom Hawkins Lyra 8, which I absolutely love, with the wonderful Mr. Wiggly sticker. And moving to the synths, at the top here, this isn't wired in. We have a TD3 from Behringer. I'm always amazed at how well that sort of sits into mixes whenever I use it. We've got the Korg 700 FS, which replaced my original Korg 700. It's brilliant. I love it. It's great for synths and it's great for bass and lead sounds. We'll put all those back later. Over here we have the Korg Op 6, which, not a fan of FM, but the Korg Op 6 is absolutely brilliant, and they've made, for me, FM very accessible. Here we have the Roland TR8S, which I think is absolutely wonderful, and I use it all the time. And behind that we have Behringer Model D, which is connected via MIDI to my Studio Logic Sledge. Love the Sledge. It's built like a well, it's built like a piece of crap, really. Plastic box is terrible. Software's terrible. But it's one knob per function, and actually for doing stuff on it, it's absolutely fantastic. So I can put up with the slightly ropey software. Down here we have a Korg Kronos 73 note Mark II, and below that we have a Micro Korg S. That's the one with the speakers, but I wouldn't advise anybody buying the one with the speakers. It's the original Micro Korg, not the new one. I have the speakers permanently turned off. They're weird. They make the keys vibrate. And here we have the thing with a lot of Triton sounds. This is the Korg Micro X, and tucked under there, which isn't actually wired up, we have a Korg Micro Station. Moving, got anything on here? Korg NTS1, the Korg oscilloscope, and down the bottom there we have the Roland S1 little synth, which I think is fantastic and I need to use more. CDs, books, loads of rubbish there. Over here we have a load of guitar pedals, which I'm currently going to be sorting out in this area here. Up at the top we've got some drums. We've got my trusty Thomas the Tank Engine circuit bent toy. There's also another toy over there. There's the circuit bent guitar keyboard keytar thing, which is very unpredictable, and I've used it on a few gigs and it has let me down more than once. We've got Postman Pat's Jess there, we've got Bertie Bassett in the corner, and we've got Colin the Clown, who I've had, well, he was my son's, I think. So drums, I reskinned this one. I was given this and then reskinned it. It was a pain in the neck to do, but I'm glad I've done it now. What else have we got? Guitar pedals. Oops. We've got the very wonderful Yamaha FGDP50, which I absolutely love. And in here we have got an Alesis SR16 Mark II, which I also love. Further down there we've got more pedals. We've got a couple of mixers, a couple of Behringer mixers which I've used in the past, Korg SQ1, a couple of Ises, so all sorts of weird and wonderful things down there. There's a couple of other things lurking around as well. There's a couple of synths underneath the racking, but we won't go there. My Micro Freak, which is absolutely brilliant and got used recently at a gig. Microcosm, and my latest edition, which is the Zoom Live Track 6. It's replaced my Zoom R16, which has been sold. Sculpt synth, only really use it for connecting to the instrument for MPE. Still getting my head around it, to be honest. It's slightly odd. It's got some good sounds in it though. The very wonderful organelle, which I use all the time, and the thing I'm spending most time learning, which is the Teenage Engineering OPC. There is also, tucked up at the top here, we've got a launch key, we've got a bot pad, and we have got in that bag there is my OP1 original, not the field. Guitars. We've got a couple of ukuleles. There's one of my ukuleles up for sale. A couple of classical guitars, a couple of electric guitars, and a short scale bass, lyre harp, and a couple of semi-acoustic guitars, a Hagstrom and a Fender Montero. The Fender Montero I've had for at least 30 years. It was my first acoustic guitar, well, second acoustic guitar really. And that pretty much covers it. Ducks on the wall, couple of bits of artwork. My Moncock poster, as certain people are interested in that. A New York sign that I got in New York from an ex-cabbie, and that's about it.
What the to-do list.
So I hope you found that useful. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye-bye.
Yay!
I didn't cover the amps. Down below the bench is a 70-watt Tascam amp and a mini disc player, CD player, and a DAT recorder.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
We're just curious, what were the keyboards that were hiding yet at the bottom of the rack?
there's no keyboards down there. There's the Soma. Hi, Justin. The Soma drum thing. What is it called? 23.
The Korg thing.
I have
Pulsar
got
23.
Yeah, Pulsar 23. I have got actually in the garage at the moment a Korg Cross Mark II, and I recently bought a Korg P60. They're what I would use for live gig work with bands. If I was going to go and play in a band, that's what I'd take. You know, and there's also in the garage is a Fox keyboard amp, which are really good actually. Little valve keyboard amp, 50 watts. You know, which I use for live work.
Yeah, I mean, when I was showing you my studio before this, I've got another room which has got a whole bunch of crap in it. That, like, you've got a whole bunch of stuff on shelves, Ian. I've put a whole bunch of stuff away in cupboards and in boxes and things like that. Which it's kind of like, it's not really sort of put away. You can sort of get to it and then pull it out and put it back away. It's like an IKEA sort of storage system, which is in a different room.
That's what that was. These were two bookcases that sat on top of each other because we had nowhere else to put it. I thought actually they're perfect for there, perfect for all the pedals and stuff. Yeah,
and there's a bunch of tubs, you know, like big 80-litre plastic tubs with, you know, guitar pedals and little whatnots and cables and everywhere. Yeah. I'm sure we've all got it. We've all made those cable manufacturers rich over the years. A couple of quick mentions before we go on to the next studio tour. You guys would have noticed a couple of people have popped in. Chris has popped in, which he said he was going to be. Hey, and Justin's also popped in via Zoom. How are you, Justin?
Greetings. Doing well.
Awesome. So, Justin, did you want to show us your studio, or do you just chopping in for a chat?
A little bit of both. I can show you. I can tell you right now, it's a bit of a work in progress. I've just kind of realized a couple weeks ago that I really need a place where I can kind of keep things set up. And if you've noticed on any of the pubs that I've been doing, that where I was doing them, it was a little bit cramped. So this room that I'm in used to be like a home gym area where I had, like, you know, my treadmill and all that stuff. But I am currently working on converting it. So if I go to my front camera on my phone, there we go. So we'll just kind of start here. Remember, it's a work in progress. I don't have everything up here, but here's Grand Central Station. So I'm running, for my computer, I'm running a custom-built PC that I built 4 years ago, and I just recently upgraded it last year. Running Studio One as my DAW, with a Faderport 16 as my controller. I absolutely love the integration between the Faderport and Studio One. It's seamless. I didn't have to install any drivers or anything with it. The obligatory can of Coke, because I need to have, you know, caffeine when I work. As far as my monitoring goes, for headphones, I use AKG K52s right now, closed headphones. And for my monitoring, I'm using Event TR8s that were actually traded with a Chord Cross 88. Gosh, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. They sound okay. I probably would like, eventually a set of Atoms or something like that, but I'm just so used to the way that these sound that I don't want to do any changing anything out right now. And then I also reference them with some stereo stuff. So I've got a pair of Boston HD7s. Not optimally placed, but this is where I can just kind of step outside of the room and kind of hear how things sound and how things are balanced. My big speakers, which I need to place, properly, are JBL CF150s. Those were given to me. So I've got 2 of those. And then in the corner, I've got some JBL active subs, home theater subs. I got 1 on each side. And I got those kind of dialed in just enough to hear, a little bit of low end and what my HD7s can't reproduce. As far as synth land, over here I've got my Hydra Deluxe. And above that is something that's on loan from a good friend of mine, the Studio Electronics SE1X. I actually just did a review. I just did a review of it last night. Very big sounding synth. However, there are a couple of things that people need to know about it. First of all, the filter cutoff is stepped in semitones, and you can hear that when you crank up the resonance and put it into self-oscillating mode. When you sweep the cutoff slowly, you can hear it stepping like in semitones. So you just want to be aware of that. And the same thing with the oscillator frequencies. Those are stepped in semitones. So to get to the fine tuning, you basically have to shift over. There it is. Shift over to where the fine tune is. The only other thing is it needs a new battery, and I got to tell the owner that because it doesn't save any of the factory presets.
Yeah.
So that's on this. Yeah, I know.
Does that have the CV controls at the back? I mean, I don't expect you to look now, but I'm pretty sure it does.
It does not. It does not.
Okay, so that one doesn't. Right.
This one doesn't. So it does have a external in, so you can run something through, like say the filters and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this one's, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. And my friend got it because he's got a Lindstrument and he wanted to pair it together, but according to him, they don't pair nicely together. Also, if I go down too far at the bottom end of the keyboard, the oscillators stop tracking pitch. So when you're outside of, like, say, this area here, as soon as you go down here, they kind of stop tracking like pitch, so I can't go all the way down and use the full range of the Hydra. There are some limitations, but if you're able to work within the limitations, it really is a fascinating sounding instrument. But yeah, it's cool. On the other side, Mark I DX7. I will never get rid of it. Robbie's favorite. Above that is an MX61. I use this for gigging out a lot. It's got about 1,000 sounds in it taken from the Motif XS. And I use a few sounds on it, mainly a couple of Mellotron sounds. I've actually got a performance programmed in here where I've split down the middle, and then to the left I've got Mellotron strings, and to the right I've got Mellotron flute. And it kind of stays there, and I maybe use it for a couple other things, but it really is, if you want a good instrument that just gives you bread and butter stuff, you don't need anything, fancy, like if you want to get through a gig, this is a great instrument. It's also 16-part multi-timbral, so I do plan on doing a video on it where I'm going to hook it up to a QX3 sequencer and just do a bunch of sequencing with it. So moving along, my vinyl collection, because I have to have vinyl. I do have it all. I do have it all sorted and alphabetized and things like that. I've got some cassettes and things up there. This was a really cool thing that I found on eBay. A 10-pack of Memorex DBS 90s.
Wow.
Yeah,
Vintage.
a full $20 on eBay for that. But yeah, I've got rock, pop, and R&B in here. Down there, I've got some jazz stuff. And then also in my stereo cabinet, I've got some jazz, and then I've got a bunch of 7-inch singles. Basic Mackie mixers, so I'm going to run all my synths into this and then submix them down to my XR18 so I don't have to run a bunch of cables. I'll just run a pair of like stereo XLRs out. Eventually, if my budget ever allows, I'd probably put a X32 compact back here. Moving over here, I've got a Kurzweil SP88 that's eventually going to go where the Mark 1 DX7 is, so I can have an 88 controller. Semi-weighted keys, but it's got the Kurzweil triple strike piano in it if I ever want that for anything. It's got very nice string sounds and a couple of really good pad sounds, but I think first and foremost, it's a good semi-weighted controller. I don't mind having semi-weighted keys as long as they're substantial and this one feels really nice. Keylab 61 Mark II. I've actually got this one up on the marketplace. That hopefully somebody will want it. But ever since getting the Hydra Deluxe, I just haven't used the Arturia as much. And it's mainly because I don't need the pads. I don't use those that much for what I do. I used to use it when gigging for my organ stuff because I ran an iPad running VB3, and this paired up nicely with it. So drawbars, all that kind of stuff. But since getting a Roland VR760, I don't really use this much anymore. And then I've got the Karma up here that I paid a whole $400 used probably back in like 2017. This is another one I'm not going to get rid of because it has some fantastic stuff that it can do on it. I don't use the Karma engine very, very much. Maybe if I want to generate a drum groove and just kind of jam along with it. But if you've watched any of the pubs over on Kent's channel, I use a custom, like kind of a custom guitar patch on here, similar to what Yanni used back in like the 80s. But it's just got a fabulous sound. As far as what I'm going to do in the future, like I said, that SP88 is going to go where the Mark 1 DX7 is. The MX61 is going to stay here because on this particular stand, the second tier is not very deep, so I can't put a whole lot of stuff here. Like I tried putting the Karma here and it didn't quite fit. So that's going to stay here. The Karma's going to go up here. And then on this rack, I'm going to put my two Alesis Quadrasynths. I've got an original, and then I've got a Quadrasynth Plus piano, and then I'm going to put the Mark 1 DX7 on top. Pretty much it. CD collection, some more vinyl down there, and then that's what I use to monitor the JBLs and the Bostons, and also if I want to, just listen to stuff. And then my turntable, a 1979 dual 1264. Sounds absolutely, amazing. And that's pretty much it.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Cool.
Good on you, Justin. That was nice of you to jump in and show us that.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Oh,
Very
absolutely. No, this was fun.
Yeah. Guys, if you're in chat and you've got questions for any of us that have shown stuff, don't forget to highlight my name at Ranzee in the chat, so it flags it so I can see it. Otherwise, it'll just scroll past, and then you can ask it that way. And then if it's if you're asking Justin a question or Ian a question, just staff it through me. That would be great. Now, Chris, you've got something to show, I believe.
Do I?
Yeah, you're wearing it. Because Mac is going absolutely gangbusters in chat talking to you about it.
He's gangbusters. Yes, this is one of Mac's wonderful T-shirts that he's had made that you can buy at his online store. Should you like what you see? And this is Synth Geekery T-shirt, and it also has on the back the wonderful. Whatever it is. Can you read that? I can't see.
It actually says everything in modulation, but you can't see the modulation bit, but that's fine.
Oh,
yeah. There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Yes,
so these have been, I've obviously given Mac permission to use the Synth Geekery logo. I would rather have someone else profit from merch. I don't really need to sort of organise merch, and that's something that he's passionate about. So I'll organise to get a link.
Other designs, yeah.
We'll organise to get a link up in the chat in a sec.
Cool.
To his store. He's got heaps of nice stuff.
Nice colour and nice quality material. Quite impressed.
Yep.
Good one, Mac.
Good man. So yeah, if you do decide to buy that, don't forget the money's just going straight to him. So
yeah, not affiliated, as they say.
Yeah. Which I think is a good cause. He's a good guy, and
man's got to eat.
He's got to eat, exactly. I'm just going to grab that link. Sorry, just going to grab it out of Discord. By the way, we talk about Discord a fair bit on the show. If you guys ever wonder, the link to Discord is this, bit.ly/Ranzee Discord. Do join the Discord server. It's free. There's no requirements to pay for anything. There's no content on there that's hidden or anything like that, unless you're a patron, which very rarely we put stuff on Discord for Patreon anyway. So do check out Discord. There's a heap of stuff on there that we talk about. It's like the show continuing on during the week. That's basically what it is. Now, let me just get the link to his
Hey, Rant, what I do now, I'm going to share 2 links of studio tours I did for Clownfest. Just people have 2.5 hours to spare to watch them both.
Yeah, just chuck them in chat, mate. You're good.
Wow.
Unfortunately, like I said, some of the stuff is no longer there, so it was stolen, but it's a good historic document.
Alrighty, so the link to Mac's shop is called musicmerch.me, musicmerch, musicmerch.me, and you can see the Synth Geekery shirts are there, and a whole bunch of other ones as well. So yeah, Synth Geekery mugs. Get yourself whole bunch of stuff. £25 for a shirt's pretty good. Different colours, different styles. Stuff on the back, stuff on the front. So yeah, do check out Music Merch for Mr. Mac's stuff. Thanks, bud. Right, I do have another studio tour, and you guys know him. He's a regular on the show. His name's George. And I don't know if George is in chat or not. So George, if you're in chat, do sing out. He's sent us in a couple of minute long video of his studio. So let's sit back, have a sip of our coffee or tea or beer or whatever we're drinking, and enjoy George's studio tour. Here we go.
This is my little effort. Usual stuff that everybody else might have. Base station, microcorg, mini log, a little bit, that's about it, that is that little thing. NTS1. Still trying to get my head around that. The circuit tracks. It's okay. I'm not sure I'll ever use it live. Might use it for sampling from. That's the thing I always take live with me. The 505 RC. Or even RC505. My little desk. Mr. Belt, I haven't done much with this at all. Hell of a thing to program. Prophecy. It's okay, I'm only just getting back into it. CS1X, these two are similar. Or they're a beggar to program. I haven't done much with the Proteus 3000 either. Again, I only use that when I need to. I've got a load of samples on Logic, so it's very rare. the master keyboards. I mean, I usually use the mini log basically for a master keyboard to fire the stuff on here. So yeah, that's my thing. Still can't get my head around that either.
He's got a controller. Nice. Those are rare.
Nice and tidy. So yeah,
Very neat, mate.
that's my little effort.
Clean.
Take care,
Minimal.
everybody.
Yeah, he's in chat.
Yes, George.
Good
Thanks
one,
for sending
George.
that in. He went to a lot of effort to do that, so I do appreciate it. And he was one of few, as you guys know, that actually put the effort in this week to send in their studio tours. And we do these. I don't know if you know my channel. I've been doing studio tours now for many years. So if I do post it, I'll give you guys a week's notice. So you got to get in quick. The next one might be a little while down the track before you get in. So
That's right.
yeah, it's worth getting it because people get to see what you're up to, and it's a good little insight into your corner of your world. Like I enjoyed Justin's before because he was talking about how he uses some of his gear, and it's obviously different to how we use it. We might have the same synthesizer, but yeah, like he was talking about the Karma, and I was just thinking when he was talking about the Karma, Andy and I both have the Korg M3, which has got the Karma system in it as well.
Mm-hmm. I have a Karma as well too.
Yeah,
Karma's a great keyboard.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot more powerful than a lot of people realize, and it's in a way it's kind of like the way I was first introduced. It was years ago. Was because people used to know that I was always a big fan of arpeggiators, and someone said to me, "Oh, do you want to get an arpeggiator on steroids?" That's how they introduced Karma. It's really nothing like an arpeggiator, but I mean,
No, it isn't. Yeah. It's in the
It can be though. In the M3 with the modes, you have the different modes to go through.
Yeah, it's more like an accompaniment.
It's great if you want to make.
Yeah.
It's like an accompaniment system. So it's basically you play along and it changes to your bass root node and things like that. It's pretty intuitive, and it can be very, very deep.
Yeah,
It's
it
good for
is
songwriting,
like
actually.
it's like an accompaniment system, but then again, it's not. I think it goes deeper than what you would consider, say, an auto accompaniment instrument like a Yamaha PSR.
Yeah.
Like it can do that, but it can also, if you're in program mode, you can trigger like the aftertouch to do stuff like the acoustic piano patch on there. If you kick in the aftertouch, it'll do like an automatic arpeggio, and it sounds very realistic, like what a pianist would do. It can do like guitar strumming, which is very difficult to do on a keyboard. When I had the M3, maybe about 13 years ago, it could do like hammer-ons and pull-offs. Like if you've got a lead guitar sound, it could really pull off a lot of the Eddie Van Halen kind of like two-handed tapping stuff. Pretty convincing.
And it sounds pretty good too.
Yeah, exactly. So if people, so a lot of like misconceptions about the Karma technology is it's mainly good for like techno and dance and EDM and stuff like that. It's really not the case because it can generate a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the orchestral stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I really do like the Karma a lot.
Yeah.
I actually bought the M3 because I was going to do some accompaniment for videos, and I was too lazy to make all the music. And you could make really decent quality, royalty-free music from that box. It's a band in a box. It's very, very cool.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah, and the M3,
massive amount of
the
synth
M3
sounds
has
too.
got a. Oh gosh, yeah. The M3 has got the 2.0 Karma, which was from the Oasis. So it's a million steps up from what the original Karma could do. Like more scenes, more things that you can control. Really, really nice instrument. Plus, you could put the radius board in there too and incorporate that.
Perfect. Right. Well, we got through studio tours. We got through all the segments. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so coked up right now, you know.
It's early in the morning too, right? It's like
About 10 after 10.
yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Probably
I mean,
ready
I
to do
don't
a
mind a
show.
bit of coke every now and then, but I don't know if I'm having coke at 10 in the morning. I'll be like,
I don't drink coffee, so
bouncing
it's the
off
next best thing.
No,
It's pretty warm in
completely
there.
get it, mate. I completely get it.
It's going to sound really good on just on a podcast if you can't see.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
musicians and coke, you know the history. So.
Yeah. Here we go again. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris, I'm glad you actually joined the show a little bit later. One of the things
happy
that
to be here.
I was thinking about you during the week because of my Kobol, and you've got a Kobol as well. And I know this is also for anyone else who's got a Kobol in chat. I've got my Kobol set up here, and a couple of things. I don't know if I'm a massive fan of the envelopes. I was telling Ian about this earlier. And you were saying something about the envelopes. You're saying, "Oh, just bear in mind they can be a bit annoying." I remember you saying that sort of, something about the envelopes anyway.
I'm an old man now.
Yeah,
I forget things.
but what I was kind of wondering is with this signal path, right? So you can see all these lines that tell you this is, so this is how the oscillators connect up to the filter that connects up to the blah blah blah, right? What I want to know is there a way that you can actually completely disconnect these EGs
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and
they're the
use
kind
an
of things.
external EG?
Yeah, they're the kind of thoughts I've had too, is sort of how much you can... Yeah, there's been a few times that I've gone, oh, actually, there's one too few patch points to do something.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I definitely think there are little holes like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the part of the being faithful to the original design.
Oh, yeah,
I
of
think
course. Yeah.
it's replicated those holes. Yeah.
There's ways around it, of course. So what you would do,
yeah.
I was throwing in this before, but you would set your envelopes to the standard, everything down and sustain all the way up type thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you
Basically
get around it.
bypass them.
And then you could put
drone
another.
it.
It's glary, but this says VCF frequency in. So you could put another envelope into that, I guess, which manipulates this knob here.
You can probably also put an envelope into the sustain input on each envelope, because that might, with an attack and decay time of infinite, of tiny, probably. But yeah, you'll still get some attack and decay artifacts from the original envelope, which may not get you what you need. But yeah, the sustain is definitely one of the other ones. The other one you could try, I guess, is the main VCO2 volume. There's next to VCO2 waveform, I think that volume control affects both the VCOs. Can't remember. Again, it's not clear on the diagram. I have to play with it again. That might also be another route that you could use a external envelope for. But yeah, no, there were definitely a few little holes. There was actually one little trick that I had to work out how to disengage one of the standard routings. I think it's like the LFO always wants to modulate the VCO2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to work. I've now got a permanent little jack that I just punch in. Oh, there's another one. I think you can't stop it from doing VCO1. I think it's the one you can't stop it from doing. I can't remember. Something like that. I can't quite remember what it is. But the VCO mod input, I think I had to. Sometimes I just have a little blank jack that I put in there, basically. And that disconnects something in a way that means I can use the section at the bottom.
Yep.
To do more processing of the voltage, which allowed me to do some more particular things I wanted to do with the LFO. I think with the LFO triggered, synchronized as well. So that was possibly one of the other little tricks. Only one of the little tricks I've found along the way on the Kobol. But yeah, no, there are definitely a few little spots where I've gone, Missing one extra jack here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another thing you could do is you could sort of just output the oscillators from that into a different system, and then you could use
to basically go out.
Yeah,
basically exit the Kobol into your modular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was what I was thinking.
Sounds like a song title. Album title.
Now
Exit
I've
the
got a
Kobol.
question that's just popped into chat, and we'll just bring it up. Men with Beards asked us a question. Just give me a sec while I load it up into the system. Hopefully it comes up in a sec. Now Kent has joined us on his iPad, but I don't have a video for you yet, buds. Your audio's turned on, so you're ready to go once you are rock and rolling. But let's get to the question first. Man with Beards asked us, are those Keystep 37s any good for DAWs, or are they mainly hardware based? Well, I'm using it with the Ableton Live now, and I think they're fine. The only reason why I bought the 37 is because I'll just go across to here. Is because I'll just take you off for a sec. It's got controllable CC.
Yeah.
So you can actually set these as hardware, right? You can also do it through UDW as well because it's USB connected. But you can set these up to do anything you like. The other key step, the normal standard key step, doesn't have that. It's actually quite funny buying this because I did a video on my channel about key steps many years ago, and this particular product is almost identical to all the suggestions that I told Arturia to do to improve the key step. For example, putting an on-off switch on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having
what's funny about these?
Having an
the light
LED
on the
display that
keys.
you could show the tempo with. So you can actually...
A lot of toy keyboards have the lights over the keys, but it just comes in handy if you use an exotic MIDI controller and you're using weird chords. You can actually see what chords you're playing on a real keybed with the light-up keys if you pass through.
It's
very useful.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see
Yeah,
it.
I forget where it was, but I was watching. This might have been 2007, but I found a studio tour of Peter Gabriel's Real World Studios, and one part of the studio he's got one of those Casio. Yeah, he's got one of those Casio lighted keyboards that kind of does the same thing, and he uses it for that same purpose. Yeah,
pretty handy. Now, Kenty Poos.
Darling.
How are you, buds?
No, I thought I might show you're showing off bits and pieces. I thought I might show you something that I don't think's ever been seen on video before.
Your kitchen.
Uh-oh.
No, I think it's in that
sensors.
room.
You're in that room.
Right. I'll do it this way.
Wow.
Jeez. Wow. Is that holding your roof up, buds?
Bloody should though. There's also this is quite unusual. This one over here. What was
it's probably his central
Jupiter
heating
8.
system.
I'm sorry, Jupiter 4.
Jupiter 4, yeah.
Jupiter 4. It was bought brand new from Rod Argent's to be hired out for to do a studio album. They did the studio album. They put it back in the box, and it's never been turned on again.
Wow!
So it's effectively a brand new Jupiter 4.
Wow.
And we feel guilty about buying gear and putting it back in its box after we've played with it.
I actually I really like the Jupiter 4. Because the Jupiter 4 is a ProMars, a polyphonic version of the ProMars. And I've always loved the ProMars. It's got just a really unique sound about it. So what are you going to do with all this stuff, mate?
Yeah, does it keep your house warm, mate?
What's your plan?
These are the 2 8 voices that sold on Vierma last week.
Right.
You think they get them fixed first?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Ah dear.
Yeah.
So and that's another Vierma one. That Jupiter 4 is another Vierma one again. And it's like, yes, it's sold. Can you fix it? Excuse me. I have to order ICs that.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think they were made by some sort of dwarf somewhere in a enchanted wood. I mean, there's things like there's CD 40 68 switching ICs in it. The last time they were used, I think miniskirts were fashionable.
Wow. On men.
You know, and trying to find these. Why do they do this to me? So, but I don't think there's ever been 2 8 voices ever. I don't think.
Together.
I've had an 8 and a 4, but not
Wow.
2 8s at the same time. That's ridiculous.
Hey, Ken, how many of those are actually made, do you think?
Sorry?
How many are made in the wild, right?
That's a good point, because a lot of them were actually 4 voices, and then people bought expanders later.
Yeah.
There's little telltale to know whether it's an actual 8 voice or whether it's a 4 with an expander. But these are genuine 8s, but I don't know. It couldn't have been many because they cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, like a lot. So it's like the D.T.H ones. I think they built, what was it, 140?
Yeah, it was like 140.
Something like that. I've had at least 10 come through in various degrees of crapitude. And but then I've seen most of the CS8 they've produced, so they made a lot of them, and they were very expensive. So I wouldn't like to say 200, 300 of them, maybe.
That's a fair bit.
Quite a few.
Enough to make a nice. You should make a nice Stonehenge tribute there with those.
Yeah.
we can all come in our you know, our gowns and have a ceremony.
Hood
Be
on.
great, yeah.
Druid costumes, yeah.
Now, Ken, this is just for you, mate.
Go on.
Stop it. Get some help.
If I could find somebody stupid enough to want to be an apprentice, I would.
There must be loads of people who would want to be an apprentice.
I was actually trying to think before, like, how would you actually tune these things? And I'm kind of, my mind is like thinking of all these formulas right now. How are we going to tune this?
Well, the beautiful thing about them is that on the stems you've got these 2 tiny little holes, and they go, these holes are here so that you can do the scaling of the VCOs without having to open the machine up. You go, cool. Unfortunately, the hole is so tiny, they've never made a tool small enough to go in. And when it's in, can't find the trim pot.
Yes.
Wow.
There's a joke in there, but I don't know if it's true.
Not that's save that.
There wasn't a custom trim pot they sold with it, so
yeah, they're really, really tiny, special little trim pots that they use as well, and it's almost, mate, it's ridiculous. It's not as bad as on, you know. I mean, the Pro ones can be quite bad, where the trim pot is actually nowhere near where the bleeding hole in the front panel is, and you're just moving it around, hoping you don't touch anything delicate and blow it up. But, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't think that I've never seen 2 together at the same time.
Anyway.
Doggone wants to get in, I think.
You'd think, wouldn't you? No, because every time you come in, you want to go out again. Don't play with your mate.
Oh my God.
Right, I'm off back to work.
Oh, good luck with it all.
I just thought I'd show you.
Yeah.
This don't happen often.
Yes.
Glorious, Kent. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, guys, you take care, yeah?
It's the
Cheers,
food
buddy.
duty.
See you later.
Bye,
mate.
What a special man.
So it's really a 16 voice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Except you're not really controlling it individually,
No.
but yeah.
Like a room
So
full of
don't forget, you can
vines.
sell your mixer for $48,000. You can maybe almost buy one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody want to buy it? It's up for sale.
Yes. Well, I think we've done what we can do on the show today. What do you guys think, Chris? You got some?
I've got-
You got something to tell?
I just want to put out a special shout out to a certain person in the chat who has been on at me for a couple of weeks about doing something with 182 step sequences. And the 182 and the GP82. Yes, Mr. Wagoo has been wanting to know how you would run two 182 step sequences and the GP82 to create a kind of monster 16-step sequencer. I'm doing a video on it, and it'll be coming out soonish. So there you go. I haven't
Can it do it now, or does it need a
Wagoo.
new firmware?
It depends which way you set it up. I've got there's currently two configurations I'm working with. Either the first configuration is where each individual step 182 is performing either completely the rhythm or completely the pitch. The one where you actually set them up in so that the left row is pitch and the right row is your rhythm is going to take custom firmware and possibly even a 962 sequencer. But he wanted me to
You can make
find
a
out
cascade,
how.
basically.
Yeah. So there's a bit of cascading. You could do it with two 962s, but that's just getting ridiculous. And I did think of a way
With
of
HP.
writing a... Yes, exactly, with HP. I did think of a way of doing a software change that would allow it to receive two CV signals instead of one. Because at the moment, one CV signal is dedicated to the step sequencer channel, and the other CV is used for additional overall effect, or there's another mode that also sets it to modify the clock divider as an alternate function. If I added a third alternate mode which allowed it to treat the two step sequencer as being two 8-step sequences, I guess you could possibly also set the number of steps that you've set on your 182. Then I would put in software that basically switches between them. So it'll look at CV1 for the first 8 steps and then look at CV2 for the next 8 steps and alternate back and forth. Therefore, that should read the correct steps on the correct step sequencer. So that would make that map work. And then you just got to deal with the pitch CV coming out of the other channel, which, as I said, you can use a 962 probably to do that, using the last step strobe coming out of the 182. Need to do, obviously, this is just theory, that one. I've already done the video on the other method, though, where you just have one dedicated to pitch and the other dedicated to rhythm settings.
The other issue, I guess,
And that works.
is that they don't have a reset. So,
Well, that's
if you stop,
with-
if you stop the left-hand one,
oh yeah,
and
you can
and
let
then
them go
started
out
it
of
again,
sync.
they would go out of sync. Yeah, and then your GP82 would probably just be trusting that they're in sync by default. In
It
the
doesn't
algorithm.
know. It doesn't know what the step is because
Yeah.
there's no
way. Yeah.
first steps. There's no first step pulse from the 182. There is a last step pulse, but again, that's we're talking GP82 max, I think, to have an additional input that would be dedicated to reading that signal and using it for useful stuff like controlling, resetting the steps to synchronize with each other.
Yeah.
It's a thing that can happen in the future. Definitely looking at it. It's on my radar. In the notepad.
I still need to try the GPA2 with my dark time. That should be fun.
Yeah, someone else has allegedly tried it. I haven't had any contact from him, but
Because then I can turn
no
steps
news is
off
good
and
news.
get weird length sequences.
Yeah.
I can...
Yeah. No, I was having quite a bit of fun just mucking around with two 182s the other day, so there will be a video. You'll see. You guys will see it then.
Awesome, fantastic. What are they saying? Mirrored. What's mirrored?
Oh yes, it is mirrored. Yes, I couldn't work out how to get my OBS Studio to flip it without mirroring it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, OBS. Yeah,
The camera's facing the camera. Yeah, the camera can't work out which way. Yeah.
Indeed.
Does my head in. I'm getting old.
Aren't we all? Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that is it. I think we're going to wrap the show up. It's been awesome this week. Nice having everybody here and people jumping in like Justin. And thanks, George, for sending in the studio tour, and Ian as well. So back next week. I don't think I've got a show, but I've got to go to a father's dinner next week. So, yep, it's definitely next week. Just double checked. Right. So,
okay,
I'll see if I can arrange for an alternate show to be put up. If it's really important for people to have it. Other than that, we can keep an eye on Discord and social media. You'll be able to work out what's going on. Right. Other than that, make sure you guys press record.
Indeed.
And have you noticed I'm not going dark?
Yeah,
you are a bit brighter.
You're costing yourself some money there.
Good there.
I have. No, I've got
pixels.
Streaming,
Every pixel costs. Yeah, that's working.
Light, it stops. It's only a cheap one, but it stops me getting too dark.
Fair enough. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Well, on that great, huge amount of disappointment from Daren, I'll end the show.
I am a giver of disappointment.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Later.
Take care.